What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP, and this is my co-host, Josh.
Hey, everyone.
And welcome back to another episode of the FilmBros podcast. So, obviously, I think this is just going to have to be the topic of every single, the start of every single episode is basically the SAG strike that's going on.
Yeah.
I got a list. I got a list of every single person that, is not out at the picket lines but decided to go ahead and make a donation. Because, like I said, we are keeping up with a series of who's putting money down but who's actually out there in the picket lines. Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller were out there today. That was cool.
Jack Black was out there.
Yeah. But before we get started and before I go ahead and read off this list of generous donators, I just want to let you guys know if you guys have any movies you guys want us to review, any topics you guys want us to talk about that we don't talk about or haven't talked about yet, guys want to support us in a big way, Josh, can you let them know real quick before we get this started?
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, FilmBros podcast, posting new episodes are up, and whatever else. You can engage with us there. And then support us. Buzzsprout links are in those bios. So, yeah, you get special perks when you do. So, why not?
All of our older episodes are there for you guys to listen right now so you guys can keep up with everything that we talk about. And you guys never miss a moment. With that being said, so we wound up hearing that at least all these stars right here have put in at least $1 million each to the SAG Relief Fund.
Yeah. That's
Oprah, Meryl Streep, Nicole Kidman, Leonardo DiCaprio, Luciana and Matt Damon, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jennifer Lopez, and Ben Affleck, Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively, Hugh Jackman, and Deborah Lee Furness. Now, none of that tells us, especially the ones that are couples like Ryan Reynolds and Blakely, whether or not they did it separately, $1 million a pop, or was it two? You know what I mean, or was it $1 million together? I don't know, man. You're hearing all this. I was one of the people that was like, "Where are all these people?" Do you feel like them not picketing and donating $1 million is enough?
I think so. They're busy people. They can't be out there all the time, and I think that's kind of why all these famous like faces are coming out now, because they have the time to do that. You know, Adam Sandler, Jack Black. I know he was just on tour for Tenacious D, and then Adam Sandler and Ben Stiller, right?
Yeah,
they were out there. Like, they have the time to do all that. If they don't have the time, at least they're supporting in the way that they know how.
Well, isn't everything supposed to stop? Shouldn't they have the time right now? Well, nothing's supposed to be on air. They're not.
Well, but that's not what I'm saying. Like, what if they're out doing their own thing, taking this time to vacate? You know what I mean? Like, they're not surrounded by scheduling and this and that. What if they're just taking this break to, like, I don't know, do something that they want?
Or what if they're just ducking the picket line? Because from what I'm hearing is none of them put up the money The Rock put down. The Rock put down, I don't have to go out there and picket money.
Not everyone has that kind of money.
Ben Affleck? Why didn't he put in $1 billion?
I don't think he has $1 billion, bro.
Ben Affleck doesn't have $1 billion, but Dwayne The Rock Johnson do.
Yes. Yeah.
But Ben Affleck's been in the game way longer.
Yeah, but The Rock
make better financial.
He demands more. He just demands more. I don't know. He gets paid for single shoots and just makes bank after there.
Fuck. I get. I mean, I guess I get it. I still personally think they don't get a pass, but I guess we can agree to disagree. But something I think we can go ahead and share together is anger for Stephen Amell, who came out and basically said he doesn't support the strike right now. He did make a correction, so we will listen to his little correction that he does. But I want you to hear the video first, listen to what he has to say, and we'll make an assessment there, and then we'll go ahead and read his little response.
Okay.
And the ongoing strike that is happening.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm insulated in Hollywood because that's where I live. I literally live in Hollywood, like all the stereotypes that exist. So I feel like a lot of people in this room aren't aware of the strike. I support my union. I do, and I stand with them. I do not support striking. I don't. I think that it is a reductive negotiating tactic. And I find the entire thing incredibly frustrating. And I think that the thinking as it pertains to shows like the show that I'm on that premiered last night, I think that is... I think that it is... I think it's myopic. And I stand with my union.
So that's basically it. Now, it sounded like he was trying to tiptoe around it, and he got in his little, promotion for his show, just a little tad bit. He was able to put that in there. Well, how hard is it to just say I stand in solidarity with my guild, and this strike is, I'm obviously striking with them. I mean, if that's the case, why is he still on stage doing Q&As when all Q&As should be pre-recorded right now too? I don't know. I personally, obviously, he's a TV show actor. I think we talked about in a couple episodes ago that a lot of soap opera actors, they said that they weren't going to make it. I'm pretty sure a lot of TV show people aren't going to make it if they don't get, at least a little bit that they're getting from these TV shows.
Him and his brother have been trying to become big name actors, and I don't think it's working out for them.
Who's his brother?
Who is his brother? Where would you know him from?
Is he on TV? Or?
No, I think he's been in a few movies too. I'm not sure what his name is, but he's if you can remember The Flash, his brother is the one that plays the Firestorm. I don't know if you've seen him.
Robbie Amell?
Yeah, his brother.
They look exactly alike. Oh, kind of. Is Steven cross-eyed, kind of? Jesus, my man.
Damn.
Okay, keep going.
But yeah, so they've been trying to make it into like big name movies for a minute. We know Stephen was I think the last big movie he was in was
he was the
TMNT.
douchebag in the Duff. Okay, I know who it is. He was in The Babysitter too. Yeah, he was the bully, the jock in The Babysitter. I don't know if you've seen the first one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Totally forgot he was there. He was the one that would basically was chasing the main character.
And he came out in the second one too.
Yeah.
Funny.
He was funny. He was funny in that one. Funnier than King Batch. But besides the point, they've been trying to make it for a minute, and I think this is him just kind of his ego kind of getting in the way, kind of, because he hasn't been doing that. He's doing another show instead of another movie. I think I can't remember what the last movie he was in, but I can remember he was Casey Jones in the live action TMNT movie from Michael Bay, the sequel.
Yeah,
that was like the last thing I can remember him in.
That was Stephen Amell played.
Yeah,
him?
that was Stephen Amell.
Oh,
remember?
Sweet. Yeah, I remember now.
Yeah, with the Krang and all that.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure.
I enjoyed those movies, by the way.
I like the first one.
Okay.
The second one loses me.
The second one's more like a punchy action one, but it still does the job. You can just watch it and just turn your brain off.
It loses me. I don't know what it is. I've tried. I think when that one came out, I tried watching it. Couldn't get past the beginning with the basketball scene, and then when I did get back into it, I seen it on TV, I think, and then I was like, okay, I think I can finish it now. And then I didn't, and then eventually I found it on streaming, and I was like, I have to finish this movie. And then I finished it, and I was like, I wish I didn't finish this movie.
Bro, that snowboarding scene, that shit was legit.
Yeah,
it was legit.
That was cool.
And then fucking Shredder 1v4ing these guys, that's insane.
That was in the first one.
Was that in the first one?
That was in the first one.
Oh yeah,
that was sick.
Okay.
That's why I think the first one does a lot better than this one.
Oh, the second one was the brain, huh?
Yeah, the Krang.
The Krang.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one too much. I gotta rewatch it. I've been meaning to rewatch those too because I think I seen a clip the other day and I was like, man, these turtles look super realistic. I'm like, I gotta rewatch these movies again.
Yeah.
The CGI in those movies are insane. You can't even doubt that.
Yeah.
Michael Bay
and
has
like
a
Shredder
good
looked
eye.
sick. Shredder did look sick.
He did. But let's go ahead and read the what his updated response was because everybody was saying kind of what I was saying right now.
Everyone was jumping on his neck.
Yeah. He doesn't support the strike. I've seen some dirty shit online. I was like, bro, it's not. I mean, it's deep, but unless you're related to one of these actors, I wouldn't know why they would say some of the things that they
Yeah.
did. But hey, you know what? The internet could be a harsh world. I know. I've seen it. And then also basically what I said, it sounded like he was plugging in the show at the same time, and it's like you're not supposed to do that
Yeah.
at this time, which in a way kind of sounded that way. You know what I mean?
A little bit, yeah.
Just a tad.
For
I
sure,
don't know.
for sure.
But he did say that it was taken out of context. He absolutely supports the union, but he doesn't like the act of striking. I'm an actor, and I was speaking for over an hour. I emote, but I certainly don't think these issues are simple. Our leadership has an incredibly complicated job, and I am grateful for all that they do. Despite some of my terrible early acting, I assure you, I'm not a robot. From an intellectual perspective, I understand why we are striking, but that doesn't mean it isn't emotionally frustrating on many levels for all involved. Why didn't you just say that shit? Like, why did you just say that from the top? You know what I mean? Just when you were there, hey, it's a frustrating situation. I hope that whoever's not aware in this room, I just want to make it aware that, you know, we're standing in solidarity with each other, and hopefully the strike is over soon. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Wipe your hands, walk away. You're bing bang boom, you're done. But it seems like this guy has like an act for like getting in trouble, because I think even during when like his show was premiering, or what was it, Arrow?
Yeah, right.
He said some things. I don't remember what it was about, but he had said some some funny shit, and people were jumping on his neck about it too.
No, yeah. Apparently, he has a history of being obnoxious on set or whatever.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, and like I guess every other actor was like happy that his character died or whatever, and he didn't have to be on the show anymore. But I doubt it. I highly doubt that. I'm not too sure how reliable that all is, but yeah, he should have definitely worded it better, and I'm sure in hindsight he understands that now. But I mean, the damage is done. Now people think he's just doing damage control.
Well, yeah, obviously. I mean, he said the wrong word, so obviously he's gonna have to try to find a way to basically save face. You know you didn't mean what you said, and don't get me wrong, that clip was cut out of context, but
Yeah,
videos don't make you look bad. You make yourself look bad. They have to really severely edit that shit in order for it, and it just seemed like a clear start here, cut here.
I saw he said somewhere he said that he wasn't thinking about he was going to be recorded and that it should have been kept secret. And I'm like, well, in an era where anyone could carry a camera in their pocket, assume you will always be recorded.
My boy, that there's people with a secret. There are literally people with cameras ready to see you fuck up. Like, you remember those like movies where they had a gun up their sleeve and they just pull it out like this. They whip it. It's like a camera though. It's a camera. They're like, oh, we're ready to go. They're always ready. But I looked up some of his controversy. So this is coming from Insider. I guess September of 2015, he defended the state of Texas after a Muslim student was arrested there, bringing an alarm clock. He was arrested for bringing an alarm clock.
What the fuck?
And it looked like a bomb, and somebody called the police on the person. And so he basically came out saying that they were stereotyping. That's crazy. And then in 2020, comic book writer accuses Amell of racism during the George Floyd protests. Oh, that's pretty bad.
Yeah,
that's pretty bad. I don't want to read the whole thing because there is some pretty weird stuff in here, but we'll leave that. That's another controversy.
Yeah.
2021, he was kicked off a plane after shouting at his wife. Didn't I tell you to pack the arrows? That's what he said. Oh my god. 2022, Amell and his wife sue a dog sanctuary. Why would they? I'm gonna keep going. 2023. Oh, that's the remarks that he said now. So, I mean, he has a act of at least one slip up a year. I mean, it's his thing. He's just like, hey, I need some buzz around me. I'm gonna just say some fucked up shit every once in a while.
Why would you sue a dog sanctuary? That's the weird thing.
He was probably the people that got Pete Davidson in trouble. He's buying the dog.
Oh, gosh. But yeah, I'm sure he'll recover. But I mean,
I hope not.
For a TV actor that is pretty damning.
I personally think he was plugging in that heel show. I'd say that I would seriously tell him to review that clip and be like, hey, is this violating union, striking law? Because they're supposed to be in solidarity, and you can get kicked out if you're promoting your movie without, one of the waivers for a TV show. So that's what I would say. Maybe I'm a little harsh, but after reading some history back, I'm pretty sure somebody who does an investigation would probably do the same thing and be like, hey, you know what? You have a history. This is kind of like the icing on the cake. And then, he wouldn't have a career anymore.
Maybe.
And then Robbie Amell will come in. You go, Robbie. I don't know. I've only seen his brother in movies. I haven't really seen it. Maybe in TMNT, but I haven't really seen that one as of recently. And I haven't seen Arrow to be like, if he's a good actor or not. I've only seen him in clips with like The Flash, Grant Gustin.
Mm-hmm.
But I never went out of my way to be like, cool Arrow clips or something. No, I just go, oh, Flash multiverse? Okay. Oh, Green Arrow's here. Wow.
I don't know. That's why I can't remember the last big thing he was in other than this show recently.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. His brother has had probably more acting roles, which is crazy.
And mainstream, probably. Let me see. I'm looking up his movies right now. Arrow. He's talking about heels. He was in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, Code 8. I don't know what that's about.
I think that's another like superhero movie.
No, it's like a sci-fi robot android type shit.
Oh, okay.
No, man, I don't see anything else he's actually been in. I think Robbie has actually made more movies. Maybe he's more superstar material.
Maybe.
I don't know. But either which way, y'all make your decision, your verdict, and we want to hear you guys' answers. Does his comments relieve him of what he said, or should we just should we give him an excuse? Just
move on.
Just move on.
Just move on.
Moving on though. So we're hearing after a good while of striking, that finally the AMPTP has now decided to go ahead and sit down and talk, meeting up on this Friday, August 4th, to go ahead and start negotiating back up. This is all after the Today Show with Fran coming out and saying that they're basically well stocked to go 6 months plus. So, and Fran is the leader of the WGA and the SAG union. So, after that comment went out, studios kind of said 6 months. We're fucking struggling now. 6 months. How are we gonna do 6 months? And then all of a sudden we got a little. Apparently they reached out to the AMPTP. We reached out to the WGA and the union leaders. They said, "Hey, we're willing to go ahead and sit down and have a conversation." And the conversation is basically gonna go through. Obviously, one big thing is the agenda of including minimum staffing in writing rooms, right?
Yeah.
That was a big deal. Apparently, there would be 4 writers on a show, a movie, and they barely be able to bring the chicken home. It was insane. Going ahead and dealing with the viewership-based streaming residual and AI, as in, we already know AMPTP is trying to push for smaller residuals because they're cheap. That's the whole reason why they're going ahead and doing this strike. They're not paying their people fairly, actors, writers.
All those people.
Apparently, they're not getting enough money. Writers, for sure. Actors, you really feel bad for actors, but, if one's standing for solidarity, I think this is mostly for... I think the money's mostly for the writers, and I think the AI and the obviously the face scanning is more for the actors. I think that's what they're fighting for, and that there's a hope that they can find a compromise, or at least the latter. But obviously the situation is still in early development. It's fluid right now. It could go either way. Could go right for them. They can find some common ground, maybe pick out a couple things, or it can go completely wrong and say, you know what? You guys didn't even try inching a little bit closer to us.
Yeah, more or less. I mean, I know I called this a while back with the companies wanted to come to talk to them for a minute because, the people obviously going to band together to survive. I think The Rock stepping in with his fat ass donation really helped all that. $1 million a piece, depending on how they worked all that out.
Yeah, being able to last for 6 months.
Yes, like
it's good.
Offered them the hand to like keep it going for a while, and that's even like, who knows if they get any more donations along the way. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think the companies coming out breaking first is gonna show a lot.
With everybody that I listed off is basically 9 million. So I don't know if they just kind of rounded it up and went to $1 billion with it, but they basically, the 9 of them basically matched The Rock's donation.
Yeah.
So The Rock's sitting there like, oh boy, hold my nuts. Like it's not even good. You did call it. Yeah, I mean, we obviously know the studios can't go on without these people. They need production to go back on.
Yes.
They're seriously in danger of pushing a lot of movies from January up until maybe March back, pushing it all the way back just because of the strike.
Yes.
They can still make summer movies if they, find a solution and get back on track, but that's assuming that this meeting on Friday goes correctly.
Yeah, more or less. If they can all come to the consensus again instead of wasting everyone's time.
That's one thing. Like, don't waste their time. I mean, if you guys are coming back to negotiate, y'all better at least both sides. Wherever one wasn't willing to budge, I hope they're both able to find a little bit of compromise. And
The only thing they won't budge on is AI, and I think like costing. I think
I just read it right here. You need me to repeat it again? Were you paying attention to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, isn't that what they were? That was what they were fighting about before.
No, this is what they're gonna meet up on Friday.
Yeah.
That's what I just did. I just said that. You didn't hear me say that?
No, yeah. Yeah.
No, I mean, do you need me to? Did y'all listen to this?
No.
Did y'all hear this? I
No.
mean, he's making me think like I didn't read it out loud. Did I read it out loud?
I'm pretty sure you did.
Okay, I'm just making sure.
But that's what I'm saying though. Like that's the consensus they need to agree upon. And if not, the company's gonna have a bigger problem on their hands.
Basically, obviously, like I said, they're gonna basically just spit out whatever the fuck I just said a second ago. I don't even know where to take it from here. I like you just regurgitated what I just said in a different way.
Oh well, that's most of what we're talking about.
I know, but
what?
I just it was just so like in my face. I couldn't like I was just trying to figure like I'm trying to figure out how to move forward, but at the same time I'm kind of thinking like, did he just repeat what I just? Like,
SAG is gonna be at the end of the day.
They're all gonna get back to their jobs.
All those people, whether they do indie films, they keep continuing to work with A24. Like they'll be alright.
Hollywood would be alright.
Yeah,
it'll make a bounce
back. The ones that won't be alright, Netflix, Disney, WB.
Disney's
Fox.
obviously hurting right now. I mean, did you? Obviously, we heard that Peacock has like apparently lost $1 billion in streaming its 2023 quarter.
Yeah.
Paramount's losing money. Apparently, all streaming sites are losing money, and nobody knows why.
I'd imagine it's a lot of like
hoopla
people in hoopla. It's a bunch of people trying to do it in solidarity. I know when they announced their strike, a lot of people were like, "Well, I'm canceling if no one wants it," And the only ones that I feel like the only ones who would use streaming are the ones like that would know what's going on. Old people are gonna be like, "What? No, give me my show."
I don't think that's the reason. I just think that they're not making a profit on streaming like they say. You know how a lot of people came out saying that streaming is not very liquid. I think that's starting to be apparent. I think the only one that was making money off of this was Netflix, but we've learned, and if you guys want to go back to our older episodes, go check them out, but we've learned that Netflix, the reason why Netflix has been able to do it is they've been basically cheating out their people. The reason why they don't get multiple seasons is because why do multiple seasons when you could do a spinoff and pay one character full price and then pay the rest of them a little bit amount of money?
Yeah.
Less residual, less money to spread around. So that's why a lot of shows don't make it past season 3. That's why a lot of people don't even think The Witcher is going to make it past after Cavill because they already started their spinoff. that looks god awful. It's already getting panned very, very, very badly. But Netflix has been figuring it out that way. They've been making money, but they've been kind of cutting people and doing them dirty. Whereas there's other places that are just upright losing money because they're just not putting out good product. Disney. I don't really think Peacock's been putting out a lot of good product. Paramount has some good shows, and MTV is on there as well. So they should be riding high. I haven't really heard so much. And Tulsa King, I heard Tulsa King brought up a lot of viewership.
Tulsa
So
King is really good.
I'm not sure about that one. Hulu is kind of losing money, but I think they're kind of recouping with the 20th Century Fox movies like Prey. They really need to put out a sequel to that one. But Disney Plus is just hemorrhaging money because that's a babysitting app. And nobody's watching Secret Invasion. Nobody's watching any of that shit at all whatsoever.
Yeah, I got bad news for you, brother. I know we got it later in the line. Spoiler alert. I'm a hype up Loki, my guy. I don't like I know Secret Invasion might have done me dirty, but I'm ready to get hurt again.
Really?
Yeah.
Even after what happened with Secret Invasion.
Loki has Kang in it. That's my bread and butter.
Okay. And I understand. But
To
what
be
if he's a
fair,
beater?
That's a different story.
And what if he beats your bread and butter?
That's not my bread and butter.
What if he punches your loaf of
Not
bread?
not my brother.
My brother. So speaking on that topic, though, obviously we were talking about the director of Secret Invasion. I don't want to mess up his name. Ali Selim.
Oh yeah, good job.
You know, he tried to blame fans in one of his quotes, saying that we're rabid and you know we can either really like it or we can really hate it. Instead of him just saying I made a bad show.
Yeah.
He really blamed it on the fans, but he took it a step further, even telling the Hollywood Reporter when asked how people may react to the death of Maria Hill, Rhodey being a Skrull since maybe Endgame, and he basically responded with, "I'm worried that I will get death threats because of that, and also because I'm the guy who took out Maria Hill, so I'm actually going into hiding right now."
What a fucking weenie. I'm not saying sending death threats is a good thing, because that should never be the case.
It's not real cool, like
not very cash money.
it's
but
not very
like,
cash money.
but like don't be a bitch. Like no one's gonna send you death threats, bro. It's not like you pissed off Star Wars fans. That's another fan base you gotta worry about. They giving death threats.
Don't give us a bad name, bro. We're not gonna give death threats over that. And then on top of that, this show was so dog shit. It's not even worth writing the threat, bro. It's not even worth it. It's not even worth the click of sending it. The show wasn't even good. I'll shit on it. Right now. It wasn't good. Don't watch it. It wasn't good. Did you like it? No, you didn't. It wasn't good.
I thought it was alright.
You didn't like it?
It was alright. It was nothing spectacular. But besides the point, worrying about death threats nowadays it's honestly a real thing, because people like to throw that shit out willy-nilly, I feel, as of lately.
People
like
on the internet just do that shit in general. I think. How many times have I seen a comment, "Eat a dick, pussy"? I'm like, oh, what? It's a cooking show. Like, I don't understand what the hell happened. Like, it's just that people just say things on the internet. It doesn't mean it's gonna happen. Now, if you see a big dude holding a Glock walking up to your front door, now that's a threat. But you shouldn't really worry about what people are saying on the internet. And to be honest, like I said, I think people took really well. At first, people were like, "Oh, who cares?" But people took really well. Rhodey's whole reveal thing, they didn't really make a big buzz about it. It wasn't too crazy. Maria Hill, I think a lot of people were like, "Oh, they did my girl dirty," but moved on from it. I think the fact that this show was so dog shit, they were just like, none of that even matters.
Might as well happen.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't worry about death threats. Not over the internet. Who really are gonna piss off? The guy with the two dudes with the podcast, the one that's always wearing a Spider-Man hoodie. Like, who really are you gonna make that mad? You know what I mean? Who gives two shits? James Gunn. Like
I hate that guy.
Like, there's no way. Oh no, you turned Rhodey into a Skrull. Kill yourself. Like, that's not gonna happen. That is not gonna happen.
And I hope you don't do it. I hope you don't be like, well, Rhodey's a scroll.
I can't believe I made the worst Disney Plus show ever, and then like kill yourself. That'll be worse.
Oh, the worst. Is that? Are
Oh,
you
no.
confirming that this show is
No,
the worst Disney Plus show?
No, I mean like in his words.
No, but I want to. Now I'm kind of curious. Is this the worst Disney
No.
Plus show? What's the worst Disney Plus show in your head?
To me,
Yeah. No, to Santa.
well, Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel?
Miss Marvel or She-Hulk.
Miss Marvel.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
I would give it to them. One of them two. They can
At least
fight.
we have She-Hulk twerking
They-
in one.
they-
I mean,
they
as
can-
much as that's so out of character, at least we get some kind of fun out of it.
There's that, and then Daredevil. She-Hulk had
He
Daredevil.
wasn't really a highlight either.
You're just boring.
You think you didn't find that whole jumpy thing too much?
No, that's exactly what he's like in the comics.
But it was too cartoony. It felt too cartoony. It didn't feel like there was weight to it. Just kind of felt like he was just flying in the air.
I don't know, man.
And like he was. I mean, he was acrobatic in the Netflix show, but he wasn't like that much. But there was weight to it.
That's the weird thing because Netflix probably didn't have the CGI budget to make him that jumpy and stuff. And when they tried, it was actually him running and doing flips and shit.
Yeah, on wires.
Yeah, and like in the Defenders, the whole chase scene where he's following, where Jessica Jones is following him on the rooftop and he's running. And like that's him actually like going over vents and shit. That's as realistic as it gets. Disney will just be like, "Oh, CGI him
Yeah.
jumping off the building." Like that'll be sick. And like while I thought it looked pretty sick, yeah, I know what you mean. No real weight to it, because it's just a CGI man.
Yeah. I would just wish that I hope in the show that they give him that it's just a little bit more weighty. But either which way, Secret Invasion doesn't even have me looking to Loki. We do have the trailer in the back end of this episode, so we'll give you guys a reaction to that. I haven't even seen it. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't
Okay,
seen it.
thank God. I had this knife waiting for you.
No, I've
Yeah.
only seen the posters. The poster looks pretty cool.
Oh, I haven't seen the poster. I just seen the little teaser with Miss Minutes on Twitter. That was it. Not like a teaser, but it was like a little picture. It had
Yeah.
like the clock.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I guess we'll have to wait for that Loki trailer in a little bit. But right now, I want to kind of get your take on it. We might be getting a Wonder Woman 3. Probably not. I don't know. The internet is a buzzing right now, so the internet's a buzzing because they think that Gal Gadot is coming out with a Wonder Woman 3. Now, I have the video here, but I can't find the clip on where she says that. But she was speaking to Collider for The Heart of Stone that's coming out on Netflix. This was a pre-recorded interview, so it's not very... Obviously, it's not new, so you guys can't really be like, oh, she's promoting her movie. No, it was pre-recorded. So, when asked if she liked the sequels with the Batman and Joker, that if she's going to be getting a sequel, if she would bring Gal Gadot into the new DCU.
Yeah.
And she basically responds with, I love portraying Wonder Woman. It's so close to and dear to my heart. From what I've heard from James and from Peter is that we're going to develop a Wonder Woman 3 together. And that's basically the end of the quote. Now that has people up in flames. Oh, how are you guys keeping Gal Gadot? But how are you guys also, getting rid of Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck? And I will admit, at first I was like that. I mean, was that your first reaction, or what? How did you feel about this?
Oh yeah, way back when it was, but now it's more of keep her out of their hands. I feel.
Oh, you don't want her to be a fucking laugh track, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we need a gag. Let's bring Wonder Woman in. Let's fucking put Homeboy's face on her body and put a double in.
Exactly what I don't want. Like that's the thing, because while I do want her back, she was badass. Even in '84, I feel like she had her moments in that one. Even as dog shit as that movie is, like she deserves better than be treated as like this like sex thing. Like I don't really. Billy Batson has a dream about her. Oh, aha, funny. And then they put what's his name's face on her.
Wet dream.
Yeah. And then he flirts with her at the end of the movie. That was so inorganic. Her skirt keeps getting shorter for some reason. Every time we see her, another sex joke with her in it. Like it's not a good look. I miss I miss her the first Wonder Woman. Diana, like I want them to go back to that, and
Justice League Diana.
I doubt we won't get that shit.
BBS Diana.
Yeah,
like I get that, 100%. I I was just more like, how are you guys cherry picking who you're gonna bring?
Yeah.
I thought this was a reboot. It doesn't feel like it's a full on reboot. But then I got a little bit of tea, obviously, and this is coming from a Twitter user, and he's also a scooper, so he's been very reliable. His name is Can We Get Toast on Twitter. If you guys want to follow him, shout out to him as well. I get most of my scoops from him.
Yeah.
He's usually pretty accurate. So with Grace Randolph kind of confirming, because she also came out saying that these talks are true, and I guess she's making a video she wound up putting on Twitter as well, that she's going to be compiling a video about it. So when we get more details, we'll probably break that down and talk about it a little bit more. But as of right now, from Can We Get Toast, he basically says, in regards to Gal Gadot continuing as Wonder Woman, pre-strike, Wonder Woman was supposed to shoot this summer with a script by Patty Jenkins that Gal really liked. Jenkins was obviously returning to direct, but James Gunn scrapped her script entirely because he thought her take didn't fit where he wanted to take Wonder Woman in the DCU. This led to Jenkins no longer being involved in the project in any capacity. James Gunn, Peter Safran, and Gal Gadot will develop a new version of Wonder Woman 3 from scratch post-strikes. At the end of the day, it won't really be Wonder Woman 3, but a reboot starring the same actress. Some things we saw in her previous movies will stay the same. Some will change. So from this, it sounds like she's going to stay Wonder Woman, but it's going to be James Gunn's Wonder Woman. So whatever take that's going to be put on screen is going to be his take, and that they're basically going to start her from the beginning.
Well, yeah, with Paradise Lost and all that, I'd imagine it would.
I don't know if
Scares the fuck out of me. Same with Superman.
So are you excited to see her come back?
Well, obviously, yeah. To some capacity, it would be nice to see her back. I do love her Wonder Woman.
I love her Wonder Woman too, but I really don't want to see her be done dirty again. I think he has some truth to it, but I think that they're not developing a Wonder Woman 3. I think she's just going to be producing the Themyscira show and basically saying, like, she's basically going to be the mentor, you know? When the actress comes out, she's going to be like, well, I was working closely with Gal Gadot, and, you know, she showed me what it meant to find my own Wonder Woman within me or whatever. Mark my words, I'm fucking reading the script right now. I'm telling you guys. They're going to talk about that and all that nonsense, and then they're going to try to promote the new Wonder Woman. She might make a cameo within the show, you know, kind of like what she basically was doing towards the end of the DCEU, and kind of what Linda Carter was doing as well, when she showed up at the post-credit scenes of both the Wonder Woman movies. I think she came out in the second one for sure, but I don't remember the first one. Did she?
I don't know.
Yeah, but either which way, that's my take. I think that's where they're gonna go. I don't know. Do you find that plausible?
I don't know. Anything can happen. I don't know. Anyone can go. Anyone can stay, apparently.
I gave you a damn scenario. Do you think it's plausible, my man?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure. Why not?
Very good.
In this scenario, sure. But I don't know. I don't know if I vibe with this idea. Because, again, I'd love to see her.
So what would you want to see? Do you want to see her come back as Wonder Woman in James Gunn's DCU? Or do you want her producing the new Wonder Woman with a different actress as Wonder Woman in the DCU?
Depending on the actress, I'd want to see her produce.
Okay.
I know a lot of people were saying get that one chick from Percy Jackson, the first movie.
Oh, the one with the blue eyes?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
People were saying to get her for it.
It probably is the safe bet, but get the girl from who's doing the ballerina spinoff. What's her name? Anna Darmus.
Oh.
That probably sounds like a safe bet, but I honestly think her, or if they really want to go like crazy route, the girl from Extraction 2. I think she'd be a wonderful Wonder Woman.
Oh yeah, she could probably do really good.
Yeah. The sister.
Yeah, but she'd be. I can feel people having a problem with her being Indian for some reason.
Well, isn't Wonder Woman from that part technically?
She'd be like Greek.
Or no?
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry, guys.
I don't know.
I'm not too good with my I'm trying to figure
geography. But I don't know who I could see play a new Wonder Woman. Again, she's been my Wonder Woman for a minute, so I don't know. I don't know if I could see someone else fill the shoes.
So you would rather just see her producing?
Yeah,
I would think so too. Just just so she's not done dirty. If they're gonna do somebody dirty, do somebody I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I like Gal Gadot. I think she was a great Wonder Woman in her first Wonder Woman movie, and in Justice League, and in BVS. But nah, in '84, she didn't do it bad. It's just the movie was shit, I think. So that's
Yeah, she suffered from bad.
And her just being
story.
so willing to do these little cameos and reducing your character to just this little cameo, I think that's on her own part as well. I think she should have stood firm, kind of like what Henry Cavill was doing. Like, if you're not gonna bring my Superman back for like a good capacity, don't bring him back at all. You know what I mean? And I think that's where they were having their disconnect, and that's why he didn't want to do cameos in Shazam if it didn't mean that I was getting my Man of Steel too. You know, he didn't want to be just oh, look up in the sky. Oh, hey kids, and then he flies off, and you never see Superman again. You know, it's not. He made the right call. I think she should have probably done that after Shazam 2 with the face.
Stupid fucking movie. But yeah, I don't know. Again, it'd be cool to see her, but I don't know in what capacity. Hell, she could be making this up, and James Gunn could totally come out and be like, "I never said that."
That's true. He could be like, "What? What do you mean? Wonder Woman 3?
Cabot? No."
We didn't talk about this. It's fine, but the only person who can really have brought her to justice was Zack Snyder, the visionary himself. Even us hearing that we might even get the director's cut to Sucker Punch after 20 years of waiting. Now, I don't know about you. I remember the Sucker Punch era, okay? Zack Snyder, okay? Visionary director. Comes out swinging hard, bro. He does Dawn of the Dead, well received. People loved it. Does what comes next? 300. Wow, people, visionary. Watchmen comes out. Hey, yo. Didn't make as much money, but DVD sales came in clutch. It didn't make money in theaters as much. I think it lost like about 20 million. But that was, I personally thought the Watchmen marketing was off because they were marketing it to be a comic accurate, and that wasn't his take. You know, obviously Zack Snyder pulls and he'll make his own, but at the time, obviously X-Men was killing it, all the colorful bright superhero movies. So this was kind of like that new shit, that the head of time shit that people didn't want to touch, but then it became a cult classic. Same thing with Sucker Punch. Didn't make a lot of money. On a $82 million budget, it only made $89.8 million. That one was due to reshoots and critics honestly panning it. And it was because at the time, people thought a lot of critics thought it was exploiting girls. And you've seen the movie, you know, they're kind of in tight clothing. She's in a schoolgirl outfit. I believe one critic, a Variety's critic actually, it's right here in this article. Variety's review said, a crass woman's penitentiary picture, misleading, positioned as female empowerment despite clearly having been hatched as a fantasy fodder for a 13-year-old guy. Basically saying that these girls were basically meant for boys to just oogle and ogle at and then go home. But that wasn't the case because it still didn't make any money, right?
Yeah.
Once again, in my opinion, it was a Warner Brothers thing. I think they didn't market this movie correctly, and they kind of missed out on a mother load. Regardless, this movie was going through the development hell too because they had to strip off the whole third act.
Yeah.
They wound up replacing it. He kind of goes into detail with this article right here, but does anything that I told you ring any bells? Do you remember this era?
Dude, no.
Too far back?
I remember the movie. I've seen the movie, but this sounds like it's all you, man. I can't remember any of this. I barely remember Watchmen marketing. Like it's not I'm too young for this. Like,
oh
yeah.
Little baby. But at least with the information you got then, what do you think? What's your take on it? Do you feel like this Sucker Punch movie, you've seen it?
I've seen it.
Yeah. Do you remember it? Is it fresh?
I remember it well enough. No, it's not fresh.
Did you like
seen it in a minute?
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that aspect. Like the Black Widow should have been something like this. Like show us her doing ballerina shit and like killing. You know what I mean? Like have her do something badass like that. but like this movie felt like ahead of its time also, just with how the story went. Whatever. I don't know about the exploiting girls part. It really has been a minute since I've seen it, but I don't know. I think a lot of little girls will see it and be like, "That's badass." You know what I mean? Even if that were the case.
Yeah.
Like this was probably, like this would have probably been panned woke if it came out now type shit.
Basically, yeah, because I believe during like interviews, the cast would always be asked like, "Do you feel like being in schoolgirl outfits is, kind of misogynistic and blah 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 blah?" And they were like, "No, I felt very empowered, and I think every girl should want to look good and feel confident and blah 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 blah." And yeah, so in 2023 that would have been acceptable, and this movie would have been woke.
Garbage.
Yeah. So once again, this movie is obviously ahead of its time.
Yeah.
Zack Snyder does it again. So when asked about Sucker Punch, Zack Snyder basically said, "It was a very polarizing film. To be frank, the people I've run across who've come to me and said Sucker Punch is my favorite movie are normally angsty teenage girls. It's like a Morrissey song or something." Basically saying that that's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Girls would come up to him and be like, "I love Sucker Punch.
Yeah.
It's a badass movie. Whatever," and they would fall in love with it because it showed that women could be strong. I thought that movie embraced that heavily when I watched it. Even the interview even went as far as asking if he will get a director's cut at some point, and he says, Zack Snyder said, "You'll get it at some point, I'm sure, I hope. I've never gotten around to doing a director's cut. I still plan to do it at some point, but the original ending when Baby Doll is in the chair in the basement with Blue, she's already been lobotomized. When the cop shines a light on her, the set breaks apart, and she stands up and she sings a song on stage. She sings, 'Ooh, child, things are going to get easier.' Blondie and all the people that have been killed join in, and it's the idea that in a weird way, even though she's lobotomized, she's kind of stuck in the infinite loop of euphoric victory. It's weirdly not optimistic and optimistic at the same time. That's kind of what the tone at the end was. We tested it, and the studio thought it was too weird, so we changed it." Now, if you remember the original ending, she winds up stealing all the keys, and she was about to be put back in the chair and her memory wiped once again. She winds up getting up, breaking out, escaping, leaving, hitting a bus, getting the fuck out of there. She escaped. Happy ending. This one is basically saying that she never got up out of chair. She basically was lobotomized. She's going through one more, I believe, a fight scene that may have been happening. Yeah. She is on stage by the end of it. Cop flashes the light because they come and bust in the door. Everybody comes in who died before, and it's kind of like an infinite loop of winning, losing, winning. She basically wakes up back in her room.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? With the cops busting in saying, "Hey, we got to take you in because you killed your dad," or whatever. That's what happened in the beginning of the movie. So it's kind of like an infinite loop, and it was going to keep going, and they basically said that's too weird.
That's too weird.
We need to cut it. We need to cut it out.
Yeah, sounds about right. This would have been one of those things where it's like, what the fuck? You're gonna make people scratch their brain and have them think a little harder. Like I feel like he's always been the one to do that, but challenge the viewer to think a little better. But at the time, it was just out of pocket, so it just didn't happen.
Yeah, the studio said we want a happy ending. We don't want people to walk out of the theater wondering what the fuck happened. Yeah. Right?
Which I think is really cool. Like, I like Inception because of that. You know what I mean? Like, I know Christopher Nolan came out and said that it doesn't matter whether the dreidel falls or not, the little spinny top from Inception.
Yeah.
That it's just for the character. His name is Jack, right? For Leonardo DiCaprio's character to just that doesn't matter if it's real or not because he's so used to just whatever.
Yeah, that's the movie leaving you with your imagination to go ahead and think of whatever possible outcome you want to think of for the character. You think of the ending. You want him to end happy? Did he go home? Or do you want him to end sad and he stayed in the place, you know? So it's kind of like that. Studio thought it was ahead of its time. Once again, sabotaged by Warner Brothers way before it was a big news thing.
Chopped at the fucking legs.
So he even went on and said, and like I told you guys a second ago, and I told you, Josh, that Variety basically panned it as non-female empowerment. And he basically responded with, I feel the main criticism of the film was that it was too exploitive. People took the movies as if the girls were fighting and all that stuff was the movie. I found that slightly disheartening. He says, my film was self-aware of the genre and revealed that certain scenes were cut to make it more overt, that the film's tone was self-aware, self-reflective, audience observing the movie, basically.
Yeah.
He goes on to say, it's that talking directly to them about what they want to see. They want to see the girls. They don't want to see the girls empowered. They want to see them in sexy outfits. That's the whole thing to me. I always thought it was interesting when people would review the movie and say it's exploitive. It's like an anti-war movie that gets the war too good. Which is true, because they say, oh, it's too exploitive, you know, women and all that. But that's who would come up to him all the time. They'd say, oh, I love this movie. It's a great movie. Why wouldn't... That's all they talk about now. Like, women should be able to... You know, Wonder Woman, why did she dress up in that outfit? Because it makes her feel nice and confident and beautiful and whatever.
Yeah.
That's what all girls want. And that's what the movie was pushing when it first came out. But it was just ahead of its time.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Because even Wonder Woman... A lot of comic book characters have women just like that, you know? Some characters wear armor, some characters wear tights, you know, and while a lot of them are drawn that way, they are still in the story. Because, you know, just like anything, you have to sell, right? You have to sell your variant covers, whatever. Harley Quinn is a big example, right? She blew up media. She's blowing up right now because of her show. Is doing really well. It's on its 4th season, whatever. There's a lot of covers of her where, like, she's very, like, sexualized and she's kissing Poison Ivy, whatever the fuck else, right? That's marketing. And while you can totally be like, oh, that's clearly just fan service, like, whatever.
Yeah.
Read her comic books. Like, inside the story, it's very deep, very detailed stuff, very comedic action. Like, you get all of that. But that front piece is to draw you in. As far as Sucker Punch goes, if you're into all that stuff, that's their business. But there's a lot more to the story than them just wearing the schoolgirl outfits. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, 100%. And it's not like they're wearing it all the time. And if you notice in the movie, it's only when she's dreaming that she's in those outfits.
Yeah.
So if her dream says, I want to be in those outfits. And if it was such a big deal, the cast would have been dragging this movie. But every single interview they had, like every interview, they always say they have a wonderful time with Zach. They love his movies. They love his vision. They love what he's selling to them.
Yeah.
And it's never a problem.
Exactly. Now, if it was Joss Whedon, if Joss Whedon was doing this, had women in these kind of outfits, then you would kind of be like, oh, that's kind of a red flag. But Zack Snyder is generally like a good dude.
I mean, Josh Whedon was the one who fought Gal Gadot to put that one scene where Barry lands on her.
Exactly.
Like she refused to do that one.
Yeah.
Good job standing on your toes on that one, Gal. But yeah, she refused to do that one, and they had to do like a stunt double in that one. But I mean, it is what it is. But either which way, Zack Snyder always being undermined by WB, and we have proof now. 100% we have proof.
Yeah.
Because Greg Silverman, who is an active voice and has honestly been on Zack's side basically through everything, he's tweeted before about the whole situation that happened. He basically said it's not his to speak on, but that Warner Brothers basically did him dirty. Even up to the point where one time he also defended him, saying that Zack Snyder is just a good guy, to the point where, you know, people take advantage of him. Greg Silverman, Greg Silverman is an ex-WB executive, Warner Brothers executive. He used to work with financials, dealing with movies. So, David, a Twitter user, came out and tweeted saying, "It's always funny to me that supporters conveniently forget how much money Zack Snyder lost for WB. Big hit with 300, then they handed him DC and he didn't lose much money there or build a big winner, but 3 or 4 losers in between. Bro power."
I saw that tweet going around.
You saw that tweet? Okay.
That's crazy.
So he did make money for WB. Zack Snyder did. There were some movies where he did lose out on, and Greg Silverman decides to tweet this or repost now. I don't know. It's not on Twitter anymore. It's X. I don't know.
Whatever the fuck you want to
call
it.
So
I'm stuck calling it Twitter.
On Twitter, Greg Silverman basically replied with, "Not true. We lost some money on Gahul and a fair amount on Sucker Punch. The rest of the films at WB were very profitable. Very." So, like I said, I'm going to reiterate. Sucker Punch, $82 million production budget, wound up coming in with $89.8 million. And now in the tweet, he says Gahul. He's talking about Legends of Gahul, which was the animated owl movie that Zack Snyder made for WB. Had an $80 million budget, but wound up making $140 million worldwide from production.
Okay.
So that one didn't lose a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, marketing probably didn't make the marketing cost, but at least broke even. Sucker Punch obviously barely broke even. Made money more in the back end when it went on DVD. Obviously, like Watchmen as well. Watchmen was also another dud. Now obviously he's not going into detail on Twitter and being like Watchmen and blah 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 blah. We know which ones lost money, but I don't think he's talking about those. I think he's talking more about the DC movies, right? I think he's talking more about the DC movies because every single DC movie that was made by Zack Snyder was profitable.
Yeah.
Sucker Punch, not so much. Gahul, maybe, that could be arguable. Maybe he left some money on the table. He didn't accumulate as much as he needed. But
yeah,
Watchmen, for sure, we can say that he's a dud. I want to add a little bit more nuance to it. Okay, so we could say Watchmen for sure lost money, but it made money in the back end on DVD sales. I mean, we'll just talk about box office, I guess. So that one was a dud, but 300 was good for him. Dawn of the Dead was good for him. If we want to talk about movies he produced, well, I really don't, because he has a lot of his producer tags on a lot of DC movies that flunked, and I think that's only because his tone is what carried on the DCEU.
Yeah,
like Birds of Prey, his tags are on there. The Suicide Squad, his tags are on there, and we know for a fact he probably wasn't associated with that. So I'd say we'll go off the 2 movies he said, Gahul and Sucker Punch. They both lost money. Not a lot from Gahul, more from Sucker Punch.
Yeah, enough.
So, I mean, does this finally shut people up, or is this going to still be a conversation that Zack Snyder's not a moneymaker?
It's still going to be a conversation that people are just going to be willfully ignorant. Like, you can quite literally show people the receipts, and they'd still fix their lips to be like, no,
that's fucking cap.
Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, I'm tired of having this debate with people that like that BVS was profitable and whatever else. Like, the numbers are there. You can Google the fucking numbers. We've done it countless times. Like, it's not rocket science. He was making money. The problem is the executives, Hamada, you dick, didn't like that they weren't hitting $1 billion so easily. But he didn't understand that they were on the verge of something great. So they cut him off short again, just like they did with Sucker Punch and Watchmen, because that got a director's cut, right?
No, BVS.
No, Watchmen didn't get a director's cut, really?
Oh yeah, it did, but it was just more like to add more movie to it. It wasn't really like,
it wasn't like botched up.
No, it wasn't a botched up thing.
Well, then maybe not Watchmen.
I'd say it got the BVS treatment, but that was because at the time, obviously, nobody was gonna watch a 3-hour movie.
Mm-hmm. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Because like the longest movie, and I don't even know if it's that long or if it's just like boring for most of it, but Superman Returns is probably the longest movie that I watched when I was like little.
Yeah.
And that one's like, I feel like that one's like 2 hours or so.
Something like that.
I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But yeah,
It just feels that way.
that's why I don't know if it feels that way. If it's actually like the runtime.
I feel like it just drags. I don't know. I don't know the runtime. I really don't want to look that up. But either which way, I think that Greg Silverman coming out and saying this as well.
Oh no, yeah, it's 2 hours and 34 minutes.
Yeah, if you feel that bitch every step of the way, 100%. I think you feel.
When I was younger, that was like the longest movie I ended up watching.
I'm trying to think what was the longest movie that I watched that it just wouldn't stop. No, Spy Kids.
The first one?
I think Spy Kids 3. I think that was the one where I was like, it just keeps going. I like it. I still liked it, but I was watching it as a kid and I was like, when is it gonna be over? Because they went through the car thing. They wound up doing the fight battle. They wound up, with the giant robots. They wound up fighting with those sticks. They just kept going more and more. And then by the end, when they got out of the game, I thought it was over.
Mm-hmm.
And then no, they still had to fight him outside. And I was like, fuck, there's more. And then it just kept going. And then the only good thing is that it ended really fast. Like once the bad guy was beaten, it kind of just went to black. But I was like, nah, this movie's long. That's kind of like yeah.
I don't rewatch the Spy Kids movies.
You want to rewatch them?
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite? 2.
Yeah, it might be 2. I think it might be 2.
I like 2.
3,
I like them.
3 is cool, but it's hard for me to watch because CGI is dated. But I think that one has
I
nice
thought it was always
moments in it.
meant to look like that. Like that's how it's supposed to look.
Really?
Yeah. That's how it's meant to look, like a game.
No, well, yeah,
but like an old game from that era. So I mean,
PlayStation 2.
yeah. So in a way, it holds up. It's not like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, where it's like accurate comic book kind of. You know what I mean? Where it's gonna obviously update. Like you're gonna see it and be like, "Oh, this is comic book." Whereas video games, you're gonna be like, "Oh, well, video games came up a long way from this. They don't look like this anymore."
Oh yeah.
I'm sure the 3D is dated for sure.
Oh,
the 3D in that movie, fuck yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That shit doesn't even pop out anymore.
Sylvester Stallone being in that movie is crazy too, though.
That was just like a weird thing.
It threw me off because I totally forgot he was in that bitch, and I was like, "This is Rocky. Like, this is not like this is fucking Rocky.
Yeah.
This is like." And then
try watching Rambo and then playing that.
Yeah, he Loki has range though. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, he high-key has range. Like he was a second ago, he was blasting people into pieces, and then now here he is just teaching kids a lesson.
Yeah.
Oh, how Rambo has fallen.
I think I like the scenes with the grandpa talking to him though, like at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember them sharing like very nice monologue with each other.
Mm-hmm.
But that's about it. But yeah, decent movie. Not my favorite of the franchise.
Not mine either, but it is what it is. Hopefully this puts to rest Zack Snyder accusers that he doesn't make money for studios, because he does, clearly, because then Netflix would not
for Netflix, yeah.
Netflix would not be putting as much money. And if you guys seen his teaser trailer for Rebel Moon,
he's doing something right.
Nice. And if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It is on YouTube. It's a great trailer. Go check it out right now. Go witness greatness and then come back, finish this episode. Moving on though, we got word Scream 7 is in the works. Obviously looking for an October release date. We don't know if that's going to happen still. Christopher Landon is signing on, and we're not getting this third installment, I would say. What was it called? Requel? Requel installment?
Seventh installment.
Seventh installment, whatever. The Radio Brothers will not be coming back to direct this one. Christopher Landon, who made Happy Death Day 1 and 2, will be signing on to do Scream 7.
Okay, so I haven't seen those movies, so I don't know.
Okay, so I'd say he also made Freaky. Have you seen Freaky?
No.
Okay, I'd say he gets the comedy right, but he needs to work on the horror. And I'm hoping that maybe this might be the movie. If this is the movie that is gonna, obviously Scream's a bloody fucking movie.
Yeah.
And he kind of gets bloody with the other movies, but he kind of shies away from it. I don't know if that's because he wants that PG-13, or maybe it's like, oh, we can't go too far because we're already putting a lot of deaths in these movies. I don't know what it is, but hopefully with Scream 7, he can work on the blood, the gore, maybe having people sit with the death a little bit longer to give them that, creepy feeling instead of cutting away quick, because I feel like he does that a lot with Happy Death Day and Freaky. But I think he does that for comedy value. Like, oh, she died, but move on here. Like, look what they're doing now kind of thing, And so I can see him doing it. I know the Radio Brothers, they're going to go ahead and produce this movie as well. So they'll probably keep him in check with the blood and all that. And hopefully he'll learn a new skill in this one. But it's still up in the air for me. It could go either which way.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know him. I haven't seen those movies.
Well, you got some homework to do.
Well, I don't
Happy
know.
Happy Death Day 2, and
I don't know
Freaky.
I don't know what it was about those movies that just weren't calling my name. It was so weird.
Well,
And it's
I
not
don't-
even that they're
I don't-
horror movies.
I don't
It's
know.
just-
I don't know why half movies don't call your name.
well, no, it's not even like they're horror movies. I just thought it was like the concept was just weird. So I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this.
What? Scream meets Groundhog Day?
Yeah, no.
That doesn't sound cool.
No.
Like, on paper, that doesn't sound cool. Like, you die and come back to life and you got to figure out who your killer is?
No.
No? Wow. You're boring.
You're boring.
You're fucking boring. Freaky? A twist on Freaky Friday? You, an innocent teenage girl or sorority girl, so maybe not so innocent, switches over with a serial killer?
That one sounds funny.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You're weird.
But
you gotta watch movies more.
But yeah, I don't know him. If he doesn't take notes, if he doesn't do it right, I'm gonna be very upset because I like the first Scream. 2, 3, and 4 can kind of fight for it, but like 5 and 6 really pulled me back into the franchise, if I'm being for real. And if he can't do it with 7, I'd hate to turn off on this whole franchise.
Well, then do your homework, watch those movies, check them out, and then we'll come back to this maybe in the top of another episode, and I'll see
somewhere in October.
how confident you are in his abilities.
Mm-hmm.
But moving on though, one more rumor. We don't know if it's true, but Lucasfilm might be learning, or Bob Iger might be reaching in there, saying that The Mandalorian Season 4 might be just completely scrapped from a series and made into a movie. And that would be added on top of the movies that are already going to be put out. Dave Filoni will be directing this one as well. We still get the Rey Skywalker movie, and then we also get Dave Filoni's Thrawn movie. And then we go ahead and get, which is, what's his name? James Mangold's movie, Jedi movie. The First Jedi. Jedi Jesus.
Basically? No, but like, I don't know. After season 3, the way it left me, I'm not too sure about where I want this to go. You know what I mean? Like, is it movie material? Am I making sense? Like sure, in the beginning, maybe season 1, season 2, somewhere in between, put in a movie between those two, make it something sick, add Boba Fett, whatever. But like, with the way he's taking the back seat, I don't see him being movie material right now. Especially if Pedro Pascal isn't gonna be taking off his fucking helmet for the whole fucking movie.
Well, you would hope. I mean, if it's gonna be a Disney Plus original movie, I would hope that they would tell him, "Hey, we're gonna need you." But at the same time, I mean, if they already wrote him to the point where he's not gonna even need to take his helmet off anymore, anyways, then I mean, they basically were propping Bo-Katan up like
yeah, but
she
that
was gonna be the person.
That would annoy the fuck out of me though.
That wouldn't make you want to watch.
Yeah. If I know all that news came out after season 3 came out, because I'm pretty sure that would have damaged the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Like, really, we don't even get to see Pedro Pascal once.
Yeah.
We don't see him and Grogu interact. outside of the helmet, like that would have hurt the show for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't want a movie of him like literally no emotion from him at all. If that's the case, because that would fucking suck.
He would just the stuntman emoting as hard as he fucking can. Emote, man, emote.
That was just one of the things that bothered me. Like he tilt his head, and I'm like, well, what's he thinking? Like what? Like why? I understand Bo-Katan is like front and center now, and this is probably her show, but it doesn't work. Like I need to see him emote.
But that's the thing too. Why would it be her show? It was his show in the beginning.
Well, no, well, yeah.
And if they're gonna make a movie, then it needs to be his movie. And if hopefully if they do bump it up to Disney Plus streaming movie, whatever, they do sign him on to say, hey, you're gonna have to take off your helmet a couple times. But like I said, in the story, they already wrote him like he's supposed to live happily ever after with Grogu. So what would even bring him back into the fight?
Just Ahsoka, or if they do that whole thing, if they make it the movie where they're just going around reuniting the bounty hunter clan or whatever to go back to Mandalore, make that a thing. I don't know where season 4 movie type deal could work.
I say
story wise.
I say justice for Tamara Morrison. Say that Pedro Pascal is gonna be in the show all the way, and just have Boba Fett be there.
It's just Boba Fett.
It's just Boba Fett all the time.
It's my movie now.
Yeah. Oh, what's that noise that it makes? What's his theme? Damn, I forgot his theme. Like a panther.
It's
But
Barracuda.
So we don't know what's happening with this yet. We'll keep you guys updated. It's still just a rumor, so take it with a grain of salt. Let us know out there. Do you guys want to see it as a show again? Do you guys want to see it as a movie? You want to see that full-length film, or do you guys want to see just 6-part? Or what? How many episodes? This was 8 episodes, huh?
Season 3 had like 8 episodes, yeah.
Yeah, I think all of them have like 8 episodes. Yeah, no, I think they're running out of story to tell. A movie would be better, I think. But that's just me. But moving on to our final topic, our last topic, something you were excited for, Josh. We're going to go ahead and watch this Loki Season 2 trailer. What are you expecting to get out of this? What are you hoping to see? Are you trying to see a lot of Kang?
I want to see a lot of Kang. I know Jonathan Majors, Deep Water, whatever fuck else, but like I'm telling you, he was my favorite thing about this whole thing, and if he can't make it, at least I know his last performance is this show, and I get to see him kill it one last time. I hope they don't cut him out of anything. I hope regardless of his allegations that it stays the same. And then I hope they continue to explore Loki and Sylvie. I know they're going to have to explain that whole kiss or whatever, but you know, by the end of season 1 she forgot, I guess. She doesn't exist technically. And then like I just hope the story continues to get better, cuz I really did like season 1.
I'd say I like season 1, but the way the Disney Plus shows and the movies have been going, I'm not really excited for Marvel so much. So I'll watch the trailer and I'll push myself through this, but no promises. You ready to get it started?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Hobie? Hello? We have a little bit of a situation we wanted to run by you.
Mobius! Wow! Great to see you again!
That's what's been happening.
Wow! Time slipping.
Wait, you know that?
Yeah.
You've seen that?
Yeah.
Can you fix that?
No. It's impossible to time slip in the TVA.
I know, but we just saw it happen.
Yeah.
I've been pulled through time between the past and the present. Hello? If what I saw is true, there's nothing to stand between this world and utter destruction.
Only one way to find out. Little good old-fashioned legwork. Listen, we have different styles. You're a man of action, which is fine. I take a more slow, deliberate, cerebral approach. It's really goodbye.
It's up to us to save this place.
Is this cracked?
Is it?
Whatever we do, we're playing God.
be our gods. But how do you choose who lives and who dies? Make the hard choice. It's him.
You better run!
War is on its way.
Come on, you're the god of mischief.
Always have been. Always will be.
A little over the top, don't you think?
I thought it was spot on.
What are we thinking?
I thought it looked good. Not a lot of Kang. Mad disappointing.
But they just showed you that one clip from the end of Quantumanium, no? Basically.
Well, yeah, that, or I guess at the end of season 1, that little post-credit scene they had, because
yeah,
that's like the first time they showed him.
Oh, yeah.
Victor Timely, whatever the fuck his name was. I liked seeing, what's his name back? That's cool. I'm really happy that his career's taken off again. What's his name?
King One?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cool seeing him, like, thrive in Hollywood.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I thought it looked pretty good. The action looks fine. I'm not really too worried about action. I know the first season didn't really have a lot, which is fine. I'm really invested in why he's kind of glitching, like they were in the Spider-Verse movie.
Ooh, is that what's happening?
That's what it looked like.
That's what it seemed like, huh?
Mm-hmm.
But he like completely disappeared though.
Yeah.
So it seems like a little switch up.
Maybe it's different because it's time related. It's not universe related.
Ooh, makes sense. Makes sense.
Like he's not.
He looked really webby. I thought that was hilarious when he would like glitch out like that.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, I don't know. It just looks like another Marvel product to me. But I guess this is something I have to wait. I'm interested because I like the first season. I think that's the only reason why I'm really interested, because the first season was good, and yeah, they didn't have a lot of fight, but when they gave it to us, it was actually monumental with that last episode.
Yeah.
And what is it? The first Loki basically sacrificing himself, that castle.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that was some good visual work from
old
them.
Loki.
So that's the only reason why I'm looking forward to this one. But other than that, I've been disinterested in Marvel. I mean, their Disney Plus shows after Secret Invasion too. Like, I'll walk this dog again, but that shit was ass. So I don't know how I want to feel about this one. And yes, no Kang. So are they still worried on what's gonna happen with that? I mean, we still haven't heard any word either. That's why we haven't been talking about it either. But I mean, they haven't had any word. They don't know what's going on. We don't know what's going on. So what? Like, you know, where are we at?
His date is coming up. It's already August 2nd.
Yeah, it's coming up soon, but
we'll get the verdict soon. Last we heard, not to give a full recap, but there was some stuff going on where his defense might be strong.
Yeah, he won some and he lost some, 100%.
Yeah.
So I mean,
50-50.
We're still in a state of limbo. Disney was rooting for him a second ago, and now they're like,
Yeah.
so they're,
and this show is 2 months out. It comes out October.
yeah. So they got plenty of time. It's just more of, will he be innocent?
Yeah.
And will they have to backtrack everything that they were planning to do? And if they have to, that is
It'll
gonna
be a problem.
If this was before the finale of the Secret Invasion, I would have said they could have went the scroll route, but scratch that. They shot themselves in the
They
foot.
did themselves in the foot.
They cheddar bobbed the shit out of themselves. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I think it looks pretty good, and I hate to break it to you, but we're gonna be watching this one too.
I figured. So let me go get the gun ready. No, but excited as always. Marvel Loki season 2. Obviously, we'll watch it.
It
We'll
honestly makes me want to rewatch the first season.
Yeah, not me. But I don't want to see 2 Lokis making out again. It's weird.
They weren't making out.
That's like the Island Boys kissing.
They shared a kiss. It's not like making out.
It's like the Island Boys.
That's gross. Don't mention them. Don't bring them up.
Just saying.
If y'all have, save your minds. Don't bother thinking about.
No,
what we're
go look
talking
it up
about.
right now. Island Boys kissing. Go look that up right now.
Gross.
Yeah, it's not very
Not
good, but I mean,
good.
not really film related, but go check it out anyways. But with that being said, Loki season 2 trailer on YouTube right now. Go check it out. But that would be our last topic of this episode. If there's something that you wanted us to talk about, a movie you guys want us to review, you guys want to support us in a big way, Josh, let them know one more time.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at FilmBros Podcast. We post new episodes are up. You can hit us up there for any news or movies you want us to cover. Listen to us on the go wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube Music, wherever you get them. We're on a bunch of sites. Subscribe to our Buzzsprout page. Links are in the bios we just gave you. You get special perks when new episodes are up. You can subscribe, support us there. And when it's all said and done, subscribe to our YouTube at FilmBros Podcast.
And with that being said, we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
Talk to you guys later.